Hello friends, my name is Manoj Kumar from Corp IT. From today onward on this channel, I'm just starting a Docker series where I will start a Docker series. If you are beginner to that, you will learn from that and you can have it at a level where you can understand what exactly Docker is. You can create your own custom file. You can deploy your application on the Docker. Okay. So let's just quickly see what exactly the component that we completed. So it will be roughly around like 9 or 8 video based upon the frequency. We'll create those. So this will be the introduction. The Docker basic will cover the what exactly the Docker images are, Docker volume, networking in Docker, Docker compose, Docker registry, and we also create a custom registry. Advanced Docker topics will cover like security, the managing resources, Docker Swarm. Anyway, it's not in use, so we'll try to cover it in the theoretical basis. Troubleshooting in the Docker, and every topic having their own dedicated lab, so that not only will learn what exactly Docker is, but along with that we'll also understand how exactly it works and how we can use in our day-to-day basis. Okay, so now we get an overview of what exactly we're about to cover on the uh, in the course. So let's just start with this. Okay, so let me just have my pen ready and then we'll start that. So first let's just understand how, your system first. Okay, or let's suppose how a website is working, or like how a website is hosting something like that. So let's suppose this is our favorite website. Let me just, not this one, let me just have it over here so it'll be easy for you. Let me just zoom it a bit. Let talk about our favorite website, that is, okay, I have to zoom a bit and let me just delete it for the ease. corpit.org. So this is my website. This is hosted to a server. Okay, this is server. Now let's just understand what exactly a server is. So you have your laptop, you have your desktop, you have your mobile and everything. So those are like, we call them as a physical machine. Okay, we call them as a physical machine. So what are the things in a physical machine? Let's just understand. So physical machine having a CPU, memory, some drive. Okay, those are the important thing. My face will be here. Let's just have it over there. um, Drive, some networking equipment. So these are the basic thing that we have in machine. Okay, from the hardware perspective. Now let's just, okay, let's just zoom out a bit. Now we understand what exactly a machine is. Okay, now let's see how exactly our system works. Okay, I'm not going into that depth, just an overview of it. Okay, so we have our machine. uh, let's just have it as like this, and let's just make it like this, and let's have it like this. So what are these things? Okay, let's just understand. This is our OS, operating system. This is our kernel, and this is your hardware layer. So every system consists of, these are the physical things that we have, and these are the software thing or like logical thing we have. So software, the operating system is the OS, where you instruct anything, it will go back to the kernel, it encode or it convert to at a bytecode that the hardware understand, and it will do the things. Now we understand two things: what exactly the physical hardware look like, and how a thing, and like how a normal system look like from a logical basis. Now let's just understand. Coming back to our same example, If I want to host my application, my website over here, how we can do that? I can install something like nginx over here and host my website and host, oh my bad, and host corp IT. Seems like a good plan, but this is not. Why it is not? Let's just understand that also. So this system having, let's suppose, i5, 8 gigs of RAM and 500 MB SSD. But do my website, the Corp IT, seriously require this much of resources? No, it won't. So how we can utilize this machine in an optimal way? The another thing that we can have it, we can have the same thing. We are hardware layer, kernel layer, and then what we can do? We can install some hypervisor. Hypervisor like ESXi, Proxmox, Zenserver, what else? Nutanix. So we can install something like that. Over this, what we can do? We can create VM. And in this particular VM, I will host my website. Corporate. Seems like a good plan. Now, what could be the specification of this? Let's suppose one CPU, 2 GB RAM, 40 GB SSD it required. Remaining thing, other user can share it. They can create their own VMs, and that's how we use it. But now let's just understand what else we can do it better. So let me just scroll a bit over here. Okay. Now let's just see this VM itself. Okay. I'm just having it over there. So again, what exactly this VM will have? Okay. This is the VM, VM.01. Let's just name it like that. Having there, it will have something like logical hardware or virtual hardware. Top of that, what will have it having kernel. Over there, what will we have? We have our operating system like Linux. Usually people having the Linux for hosting a website, and top of that we'll install nginx, and then we can host our website corp IT. Okay. Now what the issue is in this approach. Let's just understand that. So if you can see here the both example, let me just do it like this. Okay, we have two kernels. Now when the process happen, how exactly it will happen? Let me just show it over here also. Okay, this operating system will instruct to this kernel, this kernel will instruct to this hardware, but this is a virtual hardware, so it cannot do anything. With the help of this hypervisor layer, it will call this kernel. This kernel will call this hardware, and then the task will perform. Then how exactly it will do? Again, it will go back to the kernel. Okay, the task is done. It will let the hypervisor know. Okay, the task is done. Then this hypervisor will know this logical hardware or virtual hardware. The task is done. This will give the kernel, and then the final call to the nginx server will happen. So you can see how many hops are there. To be very honest, this is a very ideal scenario in IT, in any software development lifecycle. This is the ideally it should be. But how we can optimize it in a better way? In order to optimize further, we have something called containers. Perfect. Now let's see what exactly the containers are. So till here you already understand what exactly is. Okay. So we'll do understand. We'll not this one. Okay. We have our system. We have our hardware. We have our kernel. We have our OS. Let's suppose Linux. Over Linux, we have our Docker engine or container orchestrator. Pardon for my spelling, I know it's wrong. So, what exactly Docker container orchestrator will do? Container orchestrator is nothing but it's like it could be a Docker, it can be container D, it can be Podman. So like that we have lots of solution, and top of that we can have one container with nginx, and in this nginx what we can do, we can host our website. So here what happened, let's suppose if I need to do something, this container, now let's just see what exactly in this container it is this. Okay, uh, we'll see this container over here. So this is a container, it having the OS, then it will having all the config file that it need for the application. Wait a minute, it having all the config file that required for the application, and we have our nginx, and top of that what will we have artifacts. What are the artifacts? Let's just understand. If you go to my website, there's an image, there will be multiple page like index.html. This is the one page, this page is there. So these pages are artifact. What can be artifact? Images, index.html, and blah blah blah. There could be anything. So these are the artifacts. So how I can also demonstrate or set to everyone what exactly the containers, or in a simple word, this is my definition, I don't think so you will find it on the internet. If you do OS minus kernel, then you have your container. For the basic understanding you can use this one, I use this a lot. So this is your container, this is your VM, we have a SIG, and that's how it manage. Now you can ask me, Manoj, then how the kernel things happen. For that we need to again go back to our this example. So let's suppose a user come to the website, it asks for something. For the processing, it will go to the Docker Compose engine. Say, okay, I need to perform this activity. Docker engine says, okay, I can help you with that. It will talk to the OS regarding my request. Then OS will forward this request to kernel. Then it will go to my bad. Just remove it. Then this request will go to the hardware. Hardware approve that, it will perform the task. Then the cycle reverse. So it is comparatively lightweight, it is fast because the processing is low. And another thing, the best thing about the container is the portability. Let me just type it over here in the bold. Portability in the software development lifecycle is one of the important aspects. Why I'm talking about the portability? In previous days or in the older days, what exactly happened? Let's suppose someone came to me and asked me, Manu, just create this website. I'm so excited. I just created that website and I ship to the customer. Once the customer started implementing this in their environment, he said, Manu, it's not working. It's not working as intended. Probably some libraries are missing. The version that he's using for the PHP, it's not up to date. So there are lots of things. So what I can do in the newer process, I will create a container. I will create a container image of that website, and I will ship that to the customer. And I will ask customer, okay, please implement this Docker image and or this container image in your environment, and your website will be ready to go. That's the reason the portability is so easy. So what are the three things? It's a lightweight, it is fast, and the portable. I already created article. You can go over there and you can learn more about this thing. So n- now I can say you know what exactly the Docker is, what is the container is, what is your VMs are, and how this load are working. Let me just again emphasize on the Docker. Okay, so you know what exactly the container is as of now, not Docker but container. So what exactly is Docker? Docker is a tool that help in the containerization, because container is just a OS minus kernel. It's a container, but you need to manage that also. So for that management, we have the Docker. Just like for the VM, we have ESXi, we have Sensor, we have the Proxmox, we have the Nutanix. Using those tools, you can manage your VMs. So that's how the same we have the Docker for the management of the container. So if you're having the Mac, you can use something called OpStack. I have lots of video on that, so you can follow that. And if you have Windows, you can use Windows and install Docker over there. Otherwise, you can also use WSL, that I don't like because I don't use that much. Or in this example, this is my RHL server and we'll have it over there. So for reference, I already installed that over there. If you want to know how I install it, so you can see Docker install documentation. If you go over there, click on the first link. So it is available on these version. You can, based upon your system requirement, you can have it. This is the RHL that I downloaded. So you just need to follow these steps in order to download in your system. Now let's just see. First of all, we'll see docker-fnv. Let's say okay, we have that. We have the Docker. We'll see docker hyphen version. Let's say this is Docker version. Check the service whether it's running or not. ctmctl status Docker. Our Docker service running. Let's just create our first container. Docker run image name hello world. It is not present locally, so that's the reason it is fetching from the online and it will create. So hello from Docker. So this is the first video in the series where we talk about what exactly the VM are, what exactly the container are, how you can install Docker, and how you can run your first Docker, how you can run your first container. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubt, please let me know. I will more than happy to assist you with that. See you in the part 2 of this video. Thank you.